Firestorm, man.
Nobody calls Han Solo a bitch.
Bring him on. I prefer a straight fight to all this sneaking around.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Oh, come on, bro. It's the wars.
So the last few weeks have been rather eventful, but this week, deafening silence. This is the Wars of War. I'm Joe, and of course with me is my good buddy Doug. Hey Doug, how you doing this week?
Yep,
Doug.
just like that, silence. I'm doing all right. How are you doing, Joe?
I'm doing good. Nice. Give me a heart attack.
No, I'm here.
I was like, oh wow. Woo. Yeah, it's been quiet, man. It's
Yeah,
pretty wild.
It's pretty wild. Is it's one way to say it. It's just amazing how this happens. Like with news, and there's a thing or two, but there's really not a whole lot. I think we are in the calm before the storm that is to be The Mandalorian when it premieres again. So,
right, and I mean. It is. I mean, we do have a few things that we wanted to talk about that have been kind of getting pushed off.
Right. But
there's other things that, we can kind of expand on too. And I think we'll make do.
Oh yeah. Hey.
And not only calm before the storm for The Mandalorian, but shortly before this podcast releases, will be hit with Squadrons.
Right.
So that's exciting and new story driven Star Wars centered around pilots.
Absolutely.
And then I mean, I know you're not into the multiplayer experience, but I'm really excited for the multiplayer experience that this has to offer.
Right.
Hopefully it lives up to the hype they're giving it.
Yeah, I mean I gotta be honest, I'm not gonna be one to like rush out and grab this thing right away. It'd be hard for me to justify having a game I haven't even started playing yet. So
right.
That in Fallen Order. But
I still gotta get through that too, but
yeah,
this one's already pre-downloading. So.
Sure. But I mean, it looks interesting. I'm really curious to hear your feedback on the story within the game, because that's always where I'm most interested. I like playing the games and stuff, and they're great, the campaign and all, but I love the cutscenes, the stories, and all that you get with it. So that's kind of like the most intriguing part for me.
Right. And so next week I'll bring my first reactions.
Okay.
To the game, to the show. But I'll really kind of stay away from getting into the story too much.
Yeah.
I want to let everybody have a chance to breathe with it.
Right.
I'd say a couple weeks.
Okay.
I'm done letting you breathe, and then I'll dive into that.
Okay.
But
as we all know, I'm not too concerned about spoilers.
Yeah. That's why I said I'll bring it. I know you don't care. I'm not a big can't have spoilers person either, so I understand.
Right.
Like it never ruins it for me.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, of course, there are some things out there where I'd rather have not had it spoiled.
Sure.
But for the most part, very, very few things there are very, very few things you can tell me that would like ruin something for me before I see it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask, so we saw this, short CG thing they did.
Yep.
And we're getting this story driven campaign along with it. I kind of wonder, where is the Rogue Squadron-esque, film or Disney Plus series? Why is this not a thing yet?
Well, I gotta say, I'm kind of hoping that they see the right kind of reaction to this video game, and a light bulb goes off, be like, ding, 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 hey, maybe we should make this. Because yes, a Rogue Squadron series, that would be awesome.
You can totally do a Star Wars Top Gun. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. and something like that, you could set that all throughout the OT. You know what I'm saying? And beyond just a little bit. That would be pretty darn cool.
Yeah. A lot of people thought when the title Rogue One came, that we were going to see a Rogue Squadron series.
Yeah.
Which would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
Rogue One was good. That's not... I love Rogue One. It's one of my favorite films of the new Star Wars.
I totally agree.
So no complaints about how that turned out. But I would be lying to myself if I said I wasn't a little disappointed that it was not a Rogue One or Rogue Squadron story.
Right.
Because if you listened throughout any of Resistance, us talking about Resistance or some of the Clone Wars episodes we've revisited, and Rebels episodes we've revisited.
Yep.
We talk about some of the starfighter sequences and things like that, and hell, even in the movies. Those are some of my favorite parts.
Well,
I mean, especially in Resistance, because that was when that series was shining.
I gotta say, even as recent as the Mandalorian Season 2 trailer, we were both like, ooh, OT X-Wings. Yep, exactly. That was that. I don't know, man. There's just something about that ship, that design. I still, when I see it in a new scenario, it's kind of like, oop, there's goosebumps. So yes, and I agree. I think the promise of Resistance left us a little wanting. I think they could totally do something with this. I mean,
right? Because that was absolutely the hype about that series for me, is because I thought it was going to be focused in that.
Right.
And it did at times. More so than we've seen throughout a lot of Star Wars, right?
Sure.
The focus on the ships and, battle sequences in ships. Like it really shined when it was doing that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's out there, man. Like it's something I think people would want to see.
There's definitely got to be a desire for it. I mean, I understand it's EU, it's Legends material now, but there was a ton of books based off Rogue Squadron. So I just, you could get somebody to play Wedge and the rest of the crew, and there you go. I mean, you don't even really have to do Rogue Squadron, right?
Yeah,
true.
But just some squadron somewhere. Like, you have to focus on a squadron. I think it has to be,
yeah,
in a particular attack group that you focus on.
Right.
Because you have to have, no more than, 3 or 5 even, like, characters that you focus on.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's definitely something that could really be done.
Absolutely.
And done well, in my opinion.
I agree. I mean,
and Disney Plus is proving to be a pretty good outlet for, stories.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian is just killing, man.
Yep. And I am about at the point where I think that's probably the place to just release it all there. We've had these conversations before, but I'm just about there. Just put it on Disney Plus. I'll watch it. So,
yeah, I mean, if Obi-Wan shapes up to be anything like the Mandalorian is, hell, I'd be fine with ever seeing another Star Wars theatrical release.
Right.
If you could just be constantly giving me content on Disney Plus, I'm good.
Right. I have a feeling we're heading that way. I don't think the theaters are going to go out quietly, but I think we're headed that way. I just see a world where we're moving into, when it comes to that type of entertainment, a lot of people just as soon do it at home now. So,
well, I mean, the main saga's done, right?
Right.
So the whole purpose for Star Wars being in theaters is concluded.
Yeah, as far as we're concerned, sure. Yeah. I think Disney might have something to say about that. They'd like to see another $1 billion box office, sure, but who knows?
But if they look at their side projects, their spin-off films, they weren't $1 billion projects.
Wasn't Rogue One?
Did it make $1 billion?
I'm not sure. I thought it might, but I think.
Oh yeah, it made $1 billion. Did
it?
1.056.
Okay, I thought it was around there. So,
I thought it was just shy.
But regardless, that wasn't the case with Solo, and depending on where you go next with the franchise and theatrical releases, you might be hard pressed to do that again, because I hate to say it, but the Skywalker saga is done. So, if you're going to do something else, you're going to have to rely on your true hardcore fan base to get the word out. Hey, this story is going to be about X. I know about X. It's going to be really good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, when I say that I'd be fine with it never going back to theaters, doesn't mean that I wouldn't go.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, where you think about it, where does Star Wars go from here? You know what I'm saying? It's as real hardcore Star Wars fans, we know a lot about that galaxy. We know a lot of stuff that other people don't. Let me put it that way. And a lot of those people who don't know about that stuff would go see the Skywalker saga. They went to go see the stuff that was familiar to them with Rogue One, right? There's the Death Star. There is, Tarkin, and there's, I think word was out that Vader was going to be in it. So they went to go see that. But when it came to ancillary story, Solo, that might be the one we can skip. So next, whatever's next, are they going to be the ones going to see that? They might say, just not worth my time.
Yeah, I mean, Rogue One had a huge advantage with, after, opening weekend, and you get the word that there's the most awesome and brutal Vader scene you've ever seen in Star Wars.
Yes.
I mean, that's going to get the people who are not the hardcore fans.
Right.
because Vader, man, everybody knows who Darth Vader is.
Exactly.
Whether you're a big time Star Wars fan or you're just a person who doesn't mind watching Star Wars from time to time, if you find out that there's the most badass Vader scene that's ever been shot in a film, you might go see it just for that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, that scene was pretty spectacular.
Yes, it was.
It was an amazing 30 seconds.
I just think they might have a hard time, for instance, let me throw this out there, there's a lot of hardcore Revan fans, right? But if that's going to be the next film, I'm not so sure that all those people go see that.
No, I mean, I would say, like my father, he's not going to see a Revan poster and go, oh, I got to go see that.
Right.
He sees Darth Vader on a poster, he's going to go see it.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
So, yeah, he sees Revan, he's going to be like, I don't know who the hell that is. He'll ask me about it.
Right. And don't get me wrong, I understand, especially when it comes to Revan, there's a lot of hardcore fans that love Revan, and they'd go see the movie, several times, I'm sure. I just don't think you have quite as broad of a reach with that storyline.
No, and speaking of Rogue One playing on the familiar, you look at the promotional content, you see the familiar ships, you see X-Wings, you see Star Destroyers.
Yes.
That hit people who were like, man, I remember that, back in the 80s or 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Hell, I'll go see it,
Yep, absolutely.
So, yeah. Well, keep it with Disney Plus. And even though it's not 100% Star Wars, it has a Star Wars element.
Okay.
So Richard E. Grant has confirmed that he has joined the cast of Loki. So,
okay.
Just to refresh everybody's memory, Richard E. Grant played Allegiant General Pride,
right,
in The Rise of Skywalker.
Yep.
Good actor.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm already excited about Loki.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when it comes to the Avengers, probably one of my favorite characters in that series.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I mean, aside from the Avengers themselves,
yeah,
I have favorite characters in that, but I'm saying in the series as a whole, I thought the way Tom Hiddleston played Loki was spectacular.
Yeah, totally. Did an excellent job.
But Loki and these other Marvel projects, it's kind of wacky right now because we have all these Marvel projects coming to Disney Plus. But between the pandemic and The Mandalorian doing so well, they've kind of fallen off the radar.
Yeah, I think this was a matter of lucky timing as far as The Mandalorian goes, because I got a feeling, The Mandalorian wrapped shooting, what was it, 4 days before lockdown started going in place, something like that.
Right.
So that was pure luck. And then being able to do all the posts from everyone's homes, also lucky.
Right.
I think all these Marvel shows are basically victims of the circumstances we see ourselves in now. So, I for one,
I will say this. The Mandalorian seems to be kind of a well-oiled machine, though, too.
Agreed. I do agree with that.
Because it was really odd, because it was like they went into shooting, and it seemed like no time had passed at all, and we're like, wow, they wrapped shooting?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, rap shooting, and there was talk of you know, Favreau's preliminary work on the next season already like starting to sprout, and it was like, whoa,
Right.
okay. But yeah, I do agree. That's a good crew there for sure with the Mandalorian.
I think a lot of that has to do with the way they're shooting it too. You know, with the volume and
Sure.
all that has made it much more efficient.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
You know, when you can shoot certain scenes and not have to worry about if the weather's bad,
Right.
it gives you a certain advantage.
Oh, absolutely. There's that, and every scene is kind of mapped out with the volume. Right?
Right.
They get it storyboarded ahead of time, like to the degree of, you know, you're not on a set where they can say, you know what, I think I'd rather have this going from this angle over here. It's not like that. They have every scene, it's happening like this. So all they got to do is get their takes down, you know, and once that's done, cool, move on, you know. So I'm sure there's some room to play with it, but it's as I understand it, it's a, you know, the process is pretty refined right from the beginning. So
Right, because you look at like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you know, that was a series that was supposed to release last month,
right,
you know, and the Mandalorian season 2 releases this month, or so releases here in October.
Yeah.
So I guess August is 2 months ago.
Yep.
Math is hard. So yeah, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was supposed to release 2 months ago. 2 months earlier than the Mandalorian. So obviously what they're doing with the volume and things like that sped stuff along,
yeah, for sure.
because you know the pandemic cut their filming short, but it's wacky to think about. Like it might be a little bit with like shooting schedules in there too, you know, but
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, that's a show now that's been, you know, suspended and should debut in early 2021.
Right.
But that's another one I was really looking forward to.
Me too. There, yeah, Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and WandaVision. These are all shows that are on my radar here to check out. So, you know, the fact that we, you know, have had to endure these delays, you know, understandably, but, you know, it's like, man, I'm itching to see this stuff, because I got a feeling a lot of it's going to be good, you know, probably better than a lot of stuff that we've been seeing on TV lately.
Well, I mean, like I said, The Mandalorian is the preview piece, right?
Yeah.
For what they're doing with this Disney Plus content.
Yeah.
So that just makes you expect this kind of quality out of all these other projects they're working on.
Yes, they've set the bar very high for themselves. That's for sure.
Yeah, they we'll find out if they came out of the gate swinging too hard.
Right.
But yeah, WandaVision, they're saying like before the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think there's been trailers out for that or something, right?
There have, yes.
So it's at least got that going for it.
Right. But, you know, I mean, they are still working.
They ought to all look into this volume thing.
Right. I got a feeling, you know, certain shows are going to benefit from it a lot, and others maybe not so much.
Right.
from what I've seen, WandaVision almost looks more like a set type show and on location type show. And I gotta be honest, I haven't really seen anything about Falcon and Winter Soldier or Loki, but I have a feeling both of those could probably benefit from the volume, you know, just knowing those characters. So
Right. At least Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're going with Loki.
Right. Nor do I.
You know, that one is a huge mystery to me, because it's like, how hands-on does he get, you know?
Right.
He wasn't super hands-on with his involvement in Thor or Avengers. He was there.
Yep.
But he was kind of like directing events.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
Hey.
Exciting times. Disney Plus is definitely got a lot going for it.
For sure.
Have something to add to the conversation? Or you just want to let us know how we're doing? Email us, show@thewarsandmore.com. That's the best place to get in on the action. But if social media is a little more to your liking, @TheWarsandMore on Twitter is always a good place to interact with us. And we're also on Facebook, facebook.com/TheWarsandMore. And of course, your portal to this and everything else, The Wars and More, is thewarsandmore.com.
All right, so here's something that's been getting bumped for a couple weeks. Pedro Pascal apparently has had a little problem on the set of The Mandalorian. They removed his helmet once, and now he wants to do it a lot.
That's a good way of putting it. I like that. Yeah. I gotta say, I just want to throw this out there. This kind of thing, I'm almost glad that this topic has been getting bumped a little bit, because it's the sort of thing that I'm not so sure I like to jump on right away, because a lot of times this stuff can be like, you know, this happened. Wait a minute, this didn't happen. You know, but I don't know. It everything that I'm seeing, apparently this did happen, but it's kind of old news. Like he approached Jon Favreau wanting more actual FaceTime with the screen, right? And was kind of shot down there, and then he took it higher up, apparently, to Kathleen Kennedy and the like, and as of right now, I'm kind of hearing that there's, you know, maybe some sort of understanding now, and he's, you know, we were hearing that he left and he walked off the set and it was all over for him, and you know, I gotta say, you're the guy in the suit wearing a mask, okay? You know, but I guess what I'm saying is, you know, if he left the show, I don't think the show would be hurt that bad.
So here's my take on it.
Yeah.
Okay. If I were to put this into why would this kind of thing happen? Right? You know, because everybody's like, well, you signed up for a character that wears a helmet.
Yep.
Understandable. But you're a guy that's spending only a certain amount of time in the suit anyway.
Right.
Other stuff is done by stunt doubles and things like that.
Yes.
So now you're looking at it as like, man, I could make this money and never have to come to set and be in the suit. If they're not going to show my face, why the hell do I have to do it?
Oh, yeah. You're talking just show up and do the ADR, call it a day.
If you just need my voice, just use my voice. If you're not going to use my face, why am I in the suit at all?
Right.
You're telling me the stunt double can't stand there on the scenes that I just stand there?
Yeah, I guess I see that point of view, but, you know,
I mean, imagine showing up and all you're doing is walking around doing scenes where they're not even using your dialogue that you're saying in that moment. You're
Right.
going to record over it anyway.
Yep.
And then when the action hits, someone else gets in the suit and does all that stuff. So you're literally showing up for the most boring shit in this show.
Right.
And they're never going to take the helmet off and show your face. What's the point of that being you?
Well, I don't know. I don't know that there is one. I mean,
I'm saying if that's the stance he's taken in this,
Yep.
then I understand it.
Sure.
Everybody was quick to say, oh, he's being a diva about it. Well, I mean, that could be too.
Right.
And I would say the error in that is why they remove his helmet in the first season. That was the mistake there. I mean, personally, everybody's heard my stance on this. I thought that was a mistake anyway.
Right.
They should have left his helmet on. We should have never seen his face.
I feel like there's got to be a point to this. A point to all this whole, Mandalorians don't remove their helmets thing now, because it is now. It wasn't before. Just ask Sabine Wren. I mean, she barely got her helmet on in time to join the battle. So
I imagine the point to this is he's showing up. He's doing the scenes that don't require a lot of acting on his part, other than, making sure he walks in the right place.
yeah,
Because his dialogue doesn't mean anything right there. I mean, okay, maybe his stature means something, but if there's another guy that's doing the combat stuff, why can't that guy just shoot those scenes?
yeah, I get that.
I think that is probably what was going on here. He's like, look, if you just need me for ADR, why don't I just do? I'm showing up to act, but I'm not really acting.
Okay. That's fine.
I just
and my
imagine
thing.
when you have a certain skill as an actor,
Uh-huh.
and your skill, you feel like your skills aren't being utilized. Like you're showing up to do something anyone can do in that suit. And, and that's his opinion, right?
Right.
When you are of a certain skill, when you get tasked with the stuff that is super easy for you, you're like, well, anyone can do that.
And if that's the case, if that's how he's truly feeling, and they decide that's the way they're going to go, I'm okay with that. Because honestly, to me, if you're not going to remove the helmet, it doesn't really matter who's in there then.
Exactly.
My whole thing about this,
I mean, how many lines did Dave Prowse record? I'm just saying.
lots. They just didn't use it in the final film.
You know what I meant.
But my whole thing with this whole Mando helmet thing is there's got to be a point in the show, because not only have they made a big deal, quote unquote, out of it in the show, now it's become a thing outside of the show, in the production of the show. So there better be a point to it, kind of. You know what I mean?
Right. And I don't think he was making a case to remove the helmet more. In all honesty.
You don't.
I think that's what this is spiraled off into. I think his question was, if you're not going to remove the helmet, and I'm not doing the fight sequences, why am I here?
Well, I was under the impression that's exactly what he asked for.
Like I said, I feel like that's what maybe he said, if I'm going to be here, we should remove the helmet from time to time.
Maybe.
And it's a whole context issue here. Like, yeah, maybe he said that, but it wasn't just, it wasn't just like, I have to have more FaceTime or I quit.
Right.
Because everything I saw said he was still willing to do the voice work.
Well,
What kind of threat is that?
I don't know.
Like, I'm not going to show up and get in a suit. It's okay. We don't really need you.
Right, exactly. Well,
Because nothing I saw said that he, like, almost all the articles I read said that he would just do the voice work. I'm like, well, that, in all honesty, if you're not removing the helmet, that's all you really need him for.
right.
And that's why I made this connection. Like, he probably said, like, why am I doing this? You got this guy right here. Looks just like me when he's in a suit.
Well, that might be the case. I don't know. The latest things I've been hearing, still rumor, by the way, but is that, you know, everyone's kind of like made up and, you know, they're all good with each other and, you know, he'll be back for next season. They didn't say in what capacity, but I guess we'll find out.
Well, some outlets are reporting that he won't be in the suit again.
And if that's the case, that's the case. But I have not heard that one way or the other. So,
Well, yeah, if I agree. If that's the case, that's the case. If he's still lending his voice and all that, fine.
yeah, well,
I don't understand it because, I mean, you want to suit me up in that armor for 10 minutes. I'm like, yeah,
exactly. Oh, and you're going to pay me too? Sweet.
yeah. And there's money
Right.
that you need a truck to deliver. So, yeah, look, any actor is going to want their face on screen.
Sure.
You know, he didn't start acting to be in a suit and wearing a helmet or a mask all the time.
I imagine that's true.
So,
I guess we can just wait and find out just what he is doing during production of the next season. I'm sure it'll be reported on.
yeah, I'm sure it'll involve him taking his helmet off next season. So, just gotta say, told you that was a mistake.
Right.
All right. Empire Strikes Back. 40th year anniversary.
Yep.
It's back in theaters
Yep.
and doing well.
Relatively speaking, right?
Well, I mean, how well can you do during a pandemic?
Exactly.
You know, I say doing well because in total box office for this weekend, it was 4th.
That's not bad for a 40-year-old movie.
Yeah, considering that it's up against new movies.
Right.
Now, granted, the difference between The Empire Strikes Back and movies that are brand new, it was a pretty wide gap.
Oh, sure. I bet.
So it was 4th by like a good margin,
Yeah.
but it's 4th. So this past weekend, I should say, it was last weekend.
Right.
It did $908,000.
Not bad.
Pretty good,
Yeah, not bad at all.
considering the leading film right now, which is Tenet, did 3.4 million.
Wow. Yeah, and that was the one that was supposed to like be the big hit, right?
Yes. So when the big hit film is doing 3.4, if you're 40 years old and doing 908,
Yeah.
that's kicking ass.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, wow. That's a quarter of what the top movie did. That's really pretty good.
So nothing to scoff at.
Yeah. Well,
You know, so number 2 was The New Mutants.
Okay.
It did 1.14 million.
Wow.
So it's a decent gap, but not as big as you would think for a new film versus a 40-year-old film.
Right.
And then Unhinged was third with 1 million.
Wow. I have to say, I'm astonished at these numbers. Like, they're such a far cry from what we're used to hearing. And I understand why and all that. It's not that I don't get that, but when you put things into numbers like that, and it's like, it's just hitting me like, wow, this is this industry has got to be hurting really bad. The theater industry.
Well, yeah, I mean, those numbers are, you're saying top film right now doing 3.4 million in an opening weekend. I mean, normally you would move that decimal point one spot to the right.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd be talking 34 million.
Yep.
Or more.
Yeah. I will say though, it's nice to hear the Star Wars franchise like still kicking it. It's awesome.
Yep. And so with that last weekend, it also moved itself into number one of atop this year's reissues.
Oh, okay.
So films that have returned to theaters.
Yeah.
Before it was held by Jurassic Park, another spectacular film. So Jurassic Park was sitting at 1.386 million. This last weekend's total brings The Empire Strikes Back up to 1.92 million.
Ooh, okay. That's by a significant
So since
margin.
its reissue earlier this year, it's done $1.92 million.
Not bad.
Yeah, especially considering the overhead.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we got this movie up on the shelf. Do you think we should yeah, why not?
Yeah.
See if we can
Yeah.
make something out of this.
Run it.
Yep. Yeah. Sure as heck aren't releasing any other movies right now. Jeez.
And it's only running in like 2,000 theaters.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't believe it's actually running in my area here. So I'm kind of bummed
Yeah,
out about
same.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that might actually make me go to the movie.
Right, exactly. But I don't know, pretty cool. Overall, pretty cool.
Yeah, it's neat. It's neat to see. It's good news for Star Wars, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Empire's still got some power.
Yeah.
Who knew?
I think we all did.
I think everybody did. All right. Rumors. We all like rumors.
Of course we do.
How about Darth Bane?
Heck yeah.
Darth Bane is in the works. Supposedly.
Yes. So this is let's see here. This is it's from thedirect.com. This article I'm reading from. It says, according to insider Daniel Rickman's Patreon, Disney has plans for multiple projects involving Darth Bane, potentially including a solo project. It's unknown if these projects would be theatrically released movies or Disney Plus series. So I gotta say, projects involving Darth Bane don't necessarily mean film or television, right?
No, because I've heard rumblings of Darth Bane for a little while now, and it's just rumblings. So that's why it's never made it into the show.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of that was centered around like a comic book series, things like that, which would be exciting because it's going to, solidify Darth Bane in the canon, which, I mean, Darth Bane's already
He's in the
locked
canon.
into the canon.
Yeah.
But this would be solidifying some of his stories.
Okay.
So actually adding some story to them, right? Not just legend.
Right.
Because
Well,
what do we got right now? The Clone Wars
we got the Clone Wars. Yes.
and nods to the rule of two.
I was just going to ask you now. Yeah. Was that addressed in the Clone Wars, the rule of two?
Yes.
Okay. So that's what we have. We have Darth Bane and the rule of two. Period.
Right. So his legend solidified in the Clone Wars and then nodded to throughout Star Wars
Right.
because they reference only two there are, like
Yeah. So I do gotta say, this it makes me remember a couple months back we heard Kathy Kennedy saying, hey, it occurred to us that we have like 25,000 years of Star Wars lore we can pull from. It's like, hey, you just figured that out, huh? So, but I mean, this could be part of that. Who knows? I mean, they do have a lot of stuff. Who's famous for doing that? Filoni, right? I mean, he is masterful at pulling from that old EU. Look at what he did with Thrawn, right? So, along the same lines, if they did, maybe we could have a Darth Bane animated series on Disney Plus. I'd be up for that.
works for me.
Or if it's live action, all the better. But I think that's a story that lends itself to, you get a lot of people that love the Old Republic era, and again, if it's done well, like The Mandalorian, like we're expecting Kenobi to be, it could draw more people in. Now, I lost my train of thought, but yeah, I think. Oh, I don't know, because just like I was talking about earlier in the show, I don't know that like a theatrical release is the best place for this kind of storyline.
No,
because I don't think it's going to draw enough fan base to fill theaters. So I think
it would have opening weekend magic,
right,
but it would fade.
That's the thing. I agree with that 100%. Because you would have, all the hardcore geeky Star Wars fans like us. Ooh, Darth Bane, got to go check this out. And then we're going to check it out again, the next day or the following weekend. And then all of the fans that would be like, okay, I'm not going to go mess with the crazy Star Wars rush to go see this movie. I'll wait 3 or 4 weeks, like they did for the sequels, maybe, are just going to say, pass. So, know what I mean?
Well, I mean, they definitely have to hit the marketing hard.
For sure.
In order to even remotely pull those casual Star Wars fans.
And if you're going to pull those fans at all, you're going to have to utilize things like, the Yoda scene, only 2 there are, a master and apprentice. But things like that.
Yeah, you're going to have something that triggers that. Oh, Star Wars.
Exactly.
I don't think lightsabers will be enough,
Right. I mean, you would hope they would be, but I doubt it. I think that would have to be you just said it. The marketing is going to have to bridge what we know from the films, okay, specifically from the films, to what we would be seeing in a Bane movie. So,
They wouldn't be able to do it in 3 months,
what do you mean?
like Solo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the marketing campaign would basically have to tell a story in and of itself. And a story that's going to actually suck you in to where you want to go see it. So, yeah.
I mean, either that, or they'd have to sell it like it's not Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
they'd have to sell it like its own thing. They wouldn't be able to just sit back and rely on the Star Wars name to pull on this one.
Right.
They'd have to get creative like George Lucas did.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely get creative. I think,
Make people want to see your film.
yeah.
I'm just saying, it wouldn't be able to be oh, it's Star Wars, it's going to sell.
Right.
No, this is not going to have that pull that you have when you put X-Wings and Star Destroyers on the screen.
Yeah. If there's one thing that they could do with this, though, that, you know, a lot of fans say they want, I'm not so sure personally, but, and that would be to make this a lot darker. You know what I mean?
This would have to be darker.
Yeah. So, I mean, with it being Darth Bane, yeah, it could get real dark.
I mean, because what do? They go into how he established the rule of two?
I would have
I
to
mean,
imagine that there's no other reason to do Darth Bane than to
Right.
do that.
Which means he's going to kill a lot
Yeah,
of people,
especially Sith.
mostly.
Yes.
So, I mean, yeah, this is something. I mean,
And
you said I'd want to see.
right, and I gotta say, if it's a one-off movie, I don't know if that's the best spot for it. That's why I would almost rather see a Disney Plus series, because what we just started talking about there, the whole establishing the rule of two, having to you know kill off a bunch of Sith, that could play out over more time. You know what I mean? I mean, to try and
Yeah, 'cause
accomplish
you'd
all
have to
that
establish-
in a movie, ooh.
Because you'd have to establish why he feels that way.
Yeah,
Why does he feel that this is the only way they can survive? Because he didn't do it selfishly.
right.
I mean, partially, but it was kind of like a weird selfless thing for the Sith. Like, he's like, this is the only way we will survive. So selfless in that portion, selfish and is like, I'm the one to do it.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, interesting.
It's definitely
Like to
interesting.
see it happen. We'll keep our eyes on this.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not one of those, oh, they're doing it. Yeah, they're not doing it.
Oh, we've never seen that before, Joe.
Only all the time.
Only all the time. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I mean, they've been doing Revan for 20 years. So
Yeah, I know.
Every new film that comes out, they're going back to the old Republic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Although I will say, this is a storyline I'd like to see, because I dug the books, and this was a bad dude, so it would be cool.
Right. Oh, it's definitely the first trilogy there is a fantastic series of books to read.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely would like to see Bane on screen,
Oh, for sure.
but I'm not holding my breath
Right. Yeah.
because, I mean, the last time they had a chance to do this, they're like, but we got something better. You guys ever heard of the High Republic?
Exactly.
So, yeah, forgive me if I'm not buying it 100%.
Right. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
All right. Last thing. So, another housekeeping item here. It just came out a couple weeks ago, I think.
Right.
Patrick Stewart and Mark Hamill did some Uber Eats commercials.
Yes.
And I got to say, these are funny.
They are funny. This is just a nice way to round out the show here, I think. So I guess we might as well just roll these, huh?
Yeah, let's do one at a time. Talk about it.
All right. And I guess we'll start with the big one.
Tonight, I'll be eating a veggie cheeseburger on ciabatta. No tomatoes.
Tonight, I'll be eating 4 cheese tortellini with extra tomatoes.
Stewart. So it's come to this. Thank you.
Bravo.
Careful, Hamill. Daddy's not here to save you.
Oh, I am my daddy.
Come again?
Wait, what? You said daddy's not here to save you?
What are you talking about?
I'm not sure I got that right.
I like it. Yeah. I what can you say? I don't know. These guys actually played it off really well. I mean, I still don't quite understand the whole daddy saving you thing, but I guess from the Emperor, but yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I like that Mark Hamill's holding a baseball bat.
Yeah.
And Patrick Stewart's holding a cricket paddle, I guess you'd call it. I don't know what you call that.
I'm not sure. Might be a bat. I don't know. But yeah.
It's not a bat.
I do like that as well. But that was, I don't know, that was good. I like the whole, they're gonna duke it out atmosphere here they got kicking. Which,
I will say, I think it's interesting. They have this Star Trek versus Star Wars thing going on.
Yeah.
And it's Patrick Stewart.
Yeah. That's true. It's not Shatner.
Right. I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting.
When I first saw this roll out, I mean, in hindsight, like looking at them, this is the better dynamic.
Yeah, probably so.
They're closer in age.
Yep.
Yeah. Just, I think it works out better this way than it would with Shatner, but yeah.
Yeah, pretty funny. All right. Let's move on to the next one. This one cracks me up too. Kind of taking advantage of Mark getting distracted.
Tonight, I'll be eating roasted cauliflower tacos with spicy chipotle sauce. Thank you. Oh! I wasn't ready!
You want cheese to go with that wine?
Cracks
I
me
mean,
up.
that's how you really win at air hockey, right?
Yeah, exactly. You wait for someone to get distracted and then you just pop it in there. Heck yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that is funny.
But they did turn the tables on that, right? Like,
oh, absolutely. Yeah, you're talking about the next one, right?
yeah.
Oh yeah, this one's good. I saved the best for last.
Oh, this is
Tonight,
definitely the best
I'll be
one.
eating chicken tikka masala with garlic naan. Cheers.
I win again. Patrick.
That's Sir Patrick.
Ooh, sir.
Heck yeah.
Definitely channel some Joker.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, without the facial expressions, the audio's good,
Yes.
but it doesn't do that justice. Like when you see Mark's facial expressions in that,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
with that. Ooh.
That is hilarious.
So
So
with all these came some conversations about Star Wars and Star Trek and things like that. And Patrick Stewart went on saying that he liked the idea of like a crossover, that there were talks at one time of a crossover between Star Trek and Star Wars. What do you think of that?
I don't know who he was talking to, because I just honestly can't see that happening. I mean,
I mean, it opens up with a long time ago.
Yeah, galaxy far, far away, long time ago,
and then Star Trek somewhere in the future.
Right, exactly. I think we're missing the boat right off the get here. But hey, I don't know.
But in hindsight, doesn't the new Star Trek have some time travel shit going on?
Oh yeah. That's the way you fix everything these days.
Time travel.
Hey, I don't know. I can't see that happening. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Star Wars has always been the science fantasy where Star Trek is science fiction. So,
no, I mean, and they're doing the perfect Star Wars Star Trek crossover right now with these commercials.
Exactly. Left in campy fun is exactly where it needs to be. I love it. It's because this is very it's very reminiscent of Fanboys to me. We have the Star Trek and Star Wars rivalry going on. It's kind of cool.
These are the type of commercials that should have been going on for 40 plus years now.
Yes. Exactly. Because it's all in good fun.
Yeah.
And
these commercials capture that perfectly. The rivalry, the good fun. I mean, mostly good fun.
Yeah. Why you say mostly? Because Star Wars rules?
No.
Oh. No?
No, that's not why I'm saying it. While true, the reason I'm saying that is because, let's be real here, Trekkies are pretty aggressive.
Right. Nice.
It's really easy to get them angry.
Yeah, well.
Because everything in Star Wars, it's just not possible.
Yeah. You're right.
Because, all that scientific evidence that supports every bit of shit they do in Star Trek,
Well, my Kyber crystal beats your dilithium crystal any day. How's that?
Yep. Hey, blaster, phaser.
Exactly.
Which one you picking?
Yeah, no. Blaster.
When it hits the fan, I'm not going to go with let's phase them. No, I want to blast them off the damn earth.
That's right.
So, yeah, good fun.
Definitely good fun. That's all we're doing is having fun too. So.
Oh yeah. There's some things I like about Star Trek.
Sure.
Mostly having to do with Patrick Stewart. So.
Yes, that's true.
All right. Well, if you have anything to add to the conversation, you can always email us. show@thewarsofmore.com. This is the best way to get a hold of us. We're also on social media. We're at The Wars of More on Twitter, facebook.com/thewarsofmore. You can find all that and all the ways to find the show over at thewarsofmore.com. Any final thoughts this week, Doug?
No, I think that about covers it.
All right. We will talk next week.